Okay, so I'm going to be talking you through some more of the challenge questions in this video. So just the same as yesterday, all high-level questions from old SATs papers, but it's just nice to have a little bit of a challenge. So this is question number 3 that we're going to do first. Now, this question is very, very similar to the question that was in the Monday video, which I'm just going to grab because it's right in front of me. So, if I can find it, here we go. So, this question that we had yesterday, where we had some fractions and we had to find out the missing area, the shaded area. This question, when you actually put them side by side, they're basically asking you the exact same thing, except the wording is different and the diagram is different. So, question 3's question today, in this circle, 1/4 and 1/6 are shaded. Now what they haven't done here is they have not labelled these areas, which is fine, because we can very clearly see here that this is obviously 1/4, which I'm going to label. It's good to label your questions, and then that obviously means that this is going to be a 1/6. What fraction of the whole circle is not shaded? Which is just like the one from yesterday. So if you could do this question yesterday, you should be okay to do this one today. So I'll put this to the side. So with this question, we need to find out what this remaining area is. Okay? And we know that this whole entire circle is going to add up to the values. This whole circle is going to actually equal 1. So all we need to do, same as yesterday, is we've got 1/4 and 1/6. So I think I'll put it up here. So we've got 1/4 and 1/6. We're going to add them together, and then we'll see what we are left over with, and then that answer will hopefully be this sort of area here. So if I just pop this, put it down here. So we're going to add these two together. I'm going to drop my whiteboard, so I've got plenty of space. So I'm going to add 1/4 and 1/6. Need to find my common denominator. So 6 and 4. So we could multiply it together. However, there's actually one that's a smaller denominator, which is actually going to be 12. So we're going to use 12 because that's our lowest common denominator. So 4 times what gives me 12? 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. This leaves me with 5/12. So both of these here, the shaded area, add up to 5/12. And we need to know what's going to be left over. So what would you have to add to this to give you 12/12 or 1? Well, I know that 7/12 plus 5/12 would either give you 12/12 or 1. So that means that 7/12 would be my answer. And if you wanted to go back and check, you could then add up 7/12, 1/6 and 1/4, and you should be left with 1 whole 12/12. And that's how you do that one. So, we'll now do question 4 for today. So, we've got a sequence here. So, we have had some sequence questions before. So this one is asking us to write in these missing numbers here. And it tells us that the numbers in the sequence increase by the same amount each time. So the same amount is very key information. And when it says increase, it means it's getting bigger each time. So it might look a little bit daunting at first and thinking, well, how on earth am I supposed to work out which one is which? But if you look carefully at them, you can actually see that there's two of these fractions that actually, the difference is quite obvious actually. So if you look here, you've got 1 whole, and then here you've got 1 and 5/8. So actually, with that in mind, 1 plus 5/8 will give me 5/8. So that must mean that every time, as it's the same amount each time, every difference must be 5/8. So now I know that, I can work out these two here. So I think I'm going to work out this first one here because I don't really have to do too many calculations to work this out. If I know that it's adding by 5/8 each time, well, 5/8 plus what would give me 1 whole, or let's say 8/8. So 5 plus what gives me 8? Well, it's going to be 3. So it's going to be 3/8 for that first one, which is quite simple. So then up here, what we need to do is we're going to have to add 5/8 to 2 1/4. So I'll pop that up here. So we'll do our working out down here on the board. So now all we're basically doing is 2 1/4 plus 5/8. So you could do the improper method, you can do this in your head, you can do whatever you like. What I'm going to do for this question, I can already see that this isn't going to be not too complicated, this question. So I can see here that I've got 1/4 and I can make that over 8. So I actually know that if I double the 4, I'd get 8, and I could double the 1. So I could actually change this to 2 2/8 plus 5/8, which is then actually going to give me 2 wholes and 7/8, because 5 plus 2 would give me 7. So 1/4 plus 5/8 gives me 2 7/8. 2 wholes and 7/8, and that would be the answer for my sequence.